Hi, and welcome to Wednesday. The first letter is from a man named Tyler from Indiana. Our house is 100 years old. When I purchased the house, it was in very poor condition, and I did a lot of remodeling. While I was working on the upstairs, I had the feeling I was being watched. At one point, I detected an older man in overalls watching me. I never felt threatened, just thought he may have been someone who had owned the house before me, and he wanted to see what kind of work I was doing. Oftentimes, I see a small black shadow of a small animal running along the floor. When I got married, my wife Bev said she saw an older man in the house and described a person who looked much like the person I had seen upstairs. I had never told her what I had seen. I didn't want to scare her. She too would see the black shadow of a small animal running on the floor of the house. Also, I am a law enforcement officer in this town. In fact, I was just elected sheriff. One day while I was at the office, one of the secretaries that works at the office told me about a house that when she was a child that uh, a man lived there, and she said it was presently the house that I'm living in. She described him as always wearing overalls and having a skunk for a pet. How odd, I thought. Perhaps this was the person still in my home. I don't think the earthbound spirit is a problem for us, but we would like him to move on if he is able to. If you're ever in Indiana, swing by. Tyler, okay. Um, it sounds like you may have actually figured out who the owner was. And he probably, especially since you see the little critter running around. You say it doesn't bother you, it's not a problem for him to be there. But even if he is there on a limited basis, when he is there, he is causing problems. And you're right, he needs to go on. He's basically stuck. So, try smudging, have the house blessed by an ordained priest or minister, and maybe that'll help him move on. This one is from Gloria in Michigan. My name is Gloria. I am writing on behalf of my sister Ruby. She and her family moved into a home that is quite old. They did some remodeling with no problems. However, about 6 months ago, Ruby had their concrete basement floor ripped up to deal with some plumbing issues. Um, in the dirt underneath, when the concrete was torn up, her husband found an old child's booth. He still has the sole, but the top and the laces fell apart when he touched them. He also found some small bones, which he recently turned over to the police for to see if they could figure out animal person. Since this basement project has begun, the family computer hard drive has crashed twice. The light bulbs in the house need to be changed constantly. The dog barks at what seems to be a blank wall, and Ruby, who has never had any sinus problems, finally conquered a chronic sinus infection by taking 80 pills, antibiotics, in 10 days. Wow, okay. We have heard that these could possibly be signs of an earthbound spirit. After looking on your website and seeing the picture with orbs in them, Ruby looked through recent photos taken in her home. In three pictures, there were some orbs around her boys' heads. There are no orbs in any other of the pictures on the same day. My question, if those are in fact human remains, would this wake up a spirit? If so, do you have any suggestions as to what Ruby should do to appease the spirit? She has considered reburying them, but she is somewhat of a skeptic, which is why I'm the one writing. She is starting to get uncomfortable with the situation. I'm sure she would appreciate any help. Gloria, this is a little odd you writing for your sister. You seem to have got it all down. I think she has to wait until the analysis comes back on if the bone is human or animal. Usually, just because somebody is buried like that does not mean that they are haunting the house. And just digging up a grave wouldn't disturb anybody anyhow if they had crossed over. But this sounds like it could be a child, and he may or she may have died violently. And that could be a reason why they didn't cross over. But there would have been activity from the time you moved in the house, not just from the time the bones were dug up. So I'm thinking that wait until you see that, see what the report says about what's there, start smudging. Definitely have the house blessed. And exactly what you're saying about light bulbs and the computers crashing, that absolutely can be done from an earthbound spirit. So I would, if nothing else, why don't you come on one of the Zooms and let me see if there is a kid ghost in the house? And, I can't talk to them on Zoom, but I can see them shake their head yes or no. And if we ask the right questions, we may get some answers. Thanks, Gloria. By the way, the next Zooms, uh, they're done for this year. The one this Friday is full, but the next ones are in January. One is on Friday the 14th, and the other one is on Monday the 24th. Okay, this one is from Laurie, and she is in Ohio. Uh, my mother died 2 years ago, 2 years ago, and because she didn't believe in an afterlife, even after she moved in with my husband and I, she was diagnosed with cancer. She died quietly at home. We had many discussions on the subject of heaven, but I couldn't sway her. It has given me great satisfaction to know now that she is dead that I can say na 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 na. I told you so. After reading When Ghosts Speak, I became concerned, and now I'm afraid that there might be a slight chance that my mother, given a choice, would not have gone into the light. There have been obvious manifestations of her presence. I always put things away and forget where I put them. And my world does have a lot more negativity in it than before. It seems I'm not as happy as I used to be. What can I do to assure myself that my mom has crossed over? Let's hope that your mother saw somebody in the light when she died that convinced her to go into the light to see them. It's been 2 years. If your mother has crossed over, you or somebody should have had a dream of her already, a very nice dream. She'll look good, she'll look healthy, she'll be happy. If you or nobody has had that dream, then there is a good chance that your mom did not cross over. So why don't you get on a Zoom? Let's see if it's your mom. Have a picture of your mother when you come on Zoom. Let me look at it. Let me see if there's somebody in your place. If not, have the house blessed and start smudging. See if that doesn't make a difference. But if I were you, I really would want to know if it's my mother or not. This one is from Shelly. Hi, Marianne. A few strange things happen in this home. My 16-year-old son swears that he had seen a girl in the doorway of his room with an old fashioned red dress on. Our dog seems to be chasing thin air. She will be laying on the bed and out of nowhere starts to growl and take off. We thought that maybe it was the cat, but 9 out of 10 times the cat's asleep in another room. My fiance has some health issues that started back in August. They are digestive problems. He has had test after test, and they cannot find what is causing it. In the last week, I have noticed that my son's bedroom light has been on without anyone else being home, and I did not turn the light on. We have pictures, and we caught by accident orbs, and I have never seen orbs in any of our other pictures. What's going on? Orbs. Let's do that first because I forgot to say something about that in the previous letter. Orbs are good. You want orbs in pictures. If the orbs have a design in the middle, enlarge them if you took it on an electronic device and see if you can see a side profile or a face of who it is. If the orb is blank, it is a dust particle. It is nothing, so don't worry about it. It sounds to me like your son has a little stalker girl after him. And that very well could be 16, that would be the age. And if there is, with her in the house, she's somebody that could have followed him home from school, if he's in school, if he's not being homeschooled. But one of the signs of problems of an earthbound spirit in the house with adults is definitely digestive, lower intestinal problems. So you could be feeling the whole 90 yards here with her or anybody else in the house. And Shelly, definitely call, smudge, come on Zoom, have the house blessed. Try anything. You do not need this kid around your 16-year-old. Believe me, that is just asking for trouble. Okay, this one is from Nora in Rhode Island. I have moved around a lot. I move about once or twice every year. I always feel as if there is some spirit with me each time. Each house or apartment I live in, I have missing money. Actually, many things go missing or break. I really only care about the money because it has been in amounts of $50 or more, including gift cards. My husband thinks I misplace everything, but just the other day he had my paycheck cashed and in his coat pocket. The next day it was nowhere to be found. That was about $200, and that was my Christmas shopping money. I now know he is on my side. It took a while for my husband to come to my side, but he is on my side. He passed away, my father passed away about 6 years ago, and this is when I started noticing things happening and missing in the house. My father was an alcoholic, a druggie, and he would steal all the time to pay for his bad habits. Could this be him for some reason? I live in Rhode Island and will be moving to a new apartment this February and do not expect these problems to stop there. Can you give me some suggestions? Well, again, Nora, I would have to say, have you had a dream of your father since he died? If you have not, then there's a good chance this is your father. Come on Zoom. I'm so curious. I'm just curious why you move 2 or 3 times a year. Do you just automatically leave your boxes packed? I just find that very odd. And you're in an apartment or you are in flats. This is going to be a place where you're going to have a lot of ghosts anyway coming in and out of the other units. So that could be part of the problem. Before you move to your new place in February, as soon as you have access to it, why don't you go in there and smudge really, really good? And there should be no ghosts in there because nobody has been living in there. Where are they going to get energy from? If you get yourself a dream bag that has a quince seed in it and smudge the apartment as soon as you have keys to it, and as soon as the next day go back, and however many doors you have in an apartment, I'm sure there's not more than two, put the quince seed or the dream bag over the top of the two doors. When you finally move in, whoever it is that's been following you will not be able to come in now because the seeds are up. So try that or come on Zoom. Let's find out if it really is your father or not. Okie dokie. It is the 15th, and so Christmas is in 10 days, next Wednesday. If you hurry and you have any Christmas ghost stories, send them in to me, but that's what next Wednesday is going to be about. For those of you that are still shopping, if you're in the web store, please try to make your selections and get it in by the 19th of the month so that there's not a problem with the post office getting it to you. And we will talk again next Wednesday. Thanks very much.